Happy Sunday, everybody, and welcome to the second season of Zach's At It Again. I'm your host, Zach Cooley, and I am happy to have, in conjunction with our monthly spotlight of the Wythe County Technology Center, I have a lady on the phone with me who is over the cosmetology department, Miss Danielle Skeens. Thank you, Danielle, for joining me.
Thank you, Zach, for having me.
And you and I actually know one another. We actually go back quite a long way. I remember the very first time I ever met you, actually. When my grandfather was passing away of cancer, you came. You were part of the Wythe County Sheriff's Office, and you came with my dear friend Teeny Underwood to my granddad's house all the way in Galax to bring food and offer condolences. And that was the first time
I remember that.
That was the first time I ever met you. That was 25 years ago. So
that's been a while, Zach. Yes, I remember that.
So we've known each other a long time. Your husband Ricky, who is with the Wythe County School Board now, he came to George Wythe as a marketing teacher the year that I came to George Wythe, and I took his marketing class the last 2 years of high school, and he was one of my favorite teachers. We toured the WDBJ7 studios in his class and did a lot of really neat things that he provided for students.
I remember that, yes.
And I enjoyed being in his class. He was a fun teacher. And, of course, your sister-in-law, Carol, is one of my dearest friends in the world. She is the Bonnie. I'm the Clyde to her Bonnie. So we are.
All right.
Well, we said we were partners in crime, so I go way, way back with the Skeens crew, and I'm happy to have you on the phone today. Thank you again for talking with me. We're going to talk a bit about you first. You tell me how you got into cosmetology and when you came to be a part of this program.
Okay, I took cosmetology at a private school and graduated in 1992 with my license. And then I went back to school and got a associate's degree from the Wythe County or Wytheville Community College. And then I met my husband, got married, took a different path, had a different career. And at age 34, I was going back to school to get my teaching license, teaching degree, bachelor's degree. And this job became available here at the Technology Center, and I applied for it and interviewed and got that job in July of 2008. I've kept my license for many, many years, and, so I wanted to teach. I wasn't exactly sure the path I wanted to take, which was either marketing or maybe hair. And this job came open, and it was the lady who took who had this position took a sabbatical, and for a year. So I knew I had the job for 1 year, which would give me a chance to kind of teach and see if I liked teaching and liked, if it's the path I wanted to take. So fortunately for me, I loved what I was doing. I loved doing hair. I loved to teach the kids and let them learn and see their creativity. She decided not to come back, and then I was offered the job, and 15 years later, here I am.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, so then you would have worked with Miss Debbie Stone or under Miss Debbie Stone, am I right?
Yes, Debbie is Debbie Stone is actually the principal that was here that hired me.
Wonderful. And she is very near and dear to my heart also, because when I was president of the junior class and the prom came up, I had no way to get to prom. I didn't have a van to transport my power chair, and she offered to come and get me, and I also didn't have a date. So she accompanied me to the junior prom, and she also took me back and forth to my graduation and did lots of things on my behalf, which I appreciate. So she's very near and dear to my heart. You also work.
Great lady.
Yes. And
great lady, and I owe everything to her, because if she hadn't given me this opportunity, I would not have been here, you know.
No doubt. And you also worked with Mr. Anthony Sykes, another wonderful guy. He was in the guidance office when I was at George Wythe. And you could not have a better boss than you have currently in Miss Summerstone. She is a champion.
Exactly.
She is a champion for these causes. She's the one who reached out to me and said, I need every one of my departments spotlighted, and she chose me to do it. So I'm very honored that she asked me. Now, you said that you took a very different career path before you went back and got your license. So what was the factor in you that said, I want to go back? Because being a cosmetology instructor is a very specific job.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you decide that this is what I want to do and this is what I want to go for, especially after going down a completely different career path?
Well, Zach, being older, I kind of knew I loved doing hair,
mm-hmm.
and I knew having 3 small children that I liked, and my husband being in education, that was something that interested me a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could teach, and I went back to school to teach, and I went into marketing, actually,
mm-hmm.
A marketing degree.
Marketing. You wanted to do what Ricky was doing.
I kind of did, yes. I thought about that.
Yes.
And when the cosmetology became open, I love doing hair. It is my passion. But I never thought I would I would have an opportunity to teach that. So this mm-hmm. was the best of both worlds for mm-hmm. me.
Great.
So I got to do something I love doing, and I got to try teaching that I was new to.
Mm-hmm. Did you also do hair as a beautician?
I did hair for a while on the side, part-time and on the side.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So then you come into this field as a teacher. How does that differ from, how does instructing cosmetology student differ from just doing hair?
Well, I get to show them what to do, and then they, in turn, take their creativity and use that to develop their own styles and their own techniques. I kind of lay a pathway for them, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I give them some guidance, and then we just work together. It's a lot like the industry. There's a lot of teamwork. We help each other. My students teach me as much as I teach them. Every day is something new. They come in with new techniques they've seen on YouTube or something on media, social media, and they want to try it, so we try it, Mm-hmm. We learn together. In that salon environment, every day is different. Even though you may have the same clients coming in for the same procedures, you do things differently. And that's how the school works too here. I teach the basics, but then we branch out and you have to learn to do more advanced techniques.
So
and be your own creative self.
So do you have people that come in and let the students try out on them? Is sort of like what the Summit School did, or do you do that as well?
Yes, we do. We offer services to the public on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the afternoons because that's when the senior students are here, and they've completed 2 years, almost 2 years, so they're more advanced than the first-year students, the juniors.
And Oh, go ahead.
There's a minimal fee for the services. If students are working on them, it gives them experience on real world, and they learn to communicate and to do the hair.
And that
it charges a minimal fee to cover the expenses that we have for the products that we use.
Right, and does some of that money go towards the program, the cosmetology program?
It goes back into the program for like other supplies or products that we need, or to maybe send students to competitions.
And I'm glad
or to buy new mannequins.
Okay.
We start out learning everything on a mannequin.
Okay.
So we have to replace the mannequins as well.
I'm glad you mentioned competitions, because Ms. Stone mentioned to me that you had a particular student or some students who have been very successful in such things. Would you like to talk about that?
We just recently competed in a fall festival, and I had 3 students to place first in a total fantasy fashion look. I had another student place 5th in the updo competition, and I had another one place. I can't even remember. She placed in the fantasy competition.
Okay. Explain to me what the fantasy competition and the updo competition is.
The updo competition is basically like a formal hairstyle, like a student or a person going to a prom or to a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very formal hairstyle. The fantasy is something that you would see in a movie. Really wild, really creative. This year they gave them a theme, and it was I'm trying to think what the theme was. We're getting ready to do another competition in February, and it's a fairy tale. So as long as you follow that theme, and you can do anything. You do the makeup, you do the hair, and you make it your own.
Okay.
So it really allows students to be very creative.
Great.
There's a few boundaries, and that's on like time limits or what props you can use in the hair. But other than that, they can really express their own creativity.
Do you want to mention any of the students that placed by name, or do we just want to?
I can. I had Katie Wimmer, who's a senior. She placed 5th in the mannequin updo competition.
Okay.
Zach, hold on, I'm going to try to find this so I can tell you exactly the correct.
No problem.
I've just got to find it here. I had a team of 3 that won the fantasy total fantasy look, and that was, the model was Michaela Shoup from George Wythe.
Yes.
Then the 2 stylists, the makeup artist and the stylist was Charlie Studevant from Fort Chiswell. She's from George Wythe High School. Charlie's from George Wythe. And then Ryan Fowler is from George Wythe.
Okay. And they were the first place winners. So is that a statewide competition?
No, this was in this competition, it's only just at like a district level. Now the one that we're going to compete in February, that will be statewide. They can go on, if they place, they can go on and compete at the state level. Lainey Havens, who's a George Wythe student, she's a junior. She placed 4th in the fantasy mannequin. And then I had I'm trying to find this one here. She placed 3rd in the nail competition was Tabitha Dalton. She is from Fort Chiswell High School. She was actually the nail artist, and the student that she performed the nails on was Lexi Cantrell.
Mm-hmm.
And Lexi is a Roy Treat student, so that team placed third.
Fantastic.
So we were very successful that day.
And that must be what does that mean to you as their instructor?
It's rewarding to see that they are successful, and they're having fun, Zach. Mm-hmm. You know, anything we do, we want kids to have fun. You know, even coming to work for me, it needs to be fun or it's not enjoyable. And it's good for them to compete. I like for my students to compete because that makes them step up their level, makes them try a little harder, you know. I think competition is a good thing.
And I would think that your students would choose cosmetology because that's the area they want to go in. It's not one of those subjects where, I'll take this because I kind of have to have it later on, or it looks good on a resume or whatever. I would assume that they would choose cosmetology because that's what interests them, that's what they enjoy. So my question is, first of all, how many students do you have? And second of all, are they they must be very well engaged, very enthusiastic about what they do.
They are. That's the positive about teaching here at the Technology Center with a career and trade. Students do get to choose us. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when they choose cosmetology, that is maybe an interest, a passion. Right. So they come in they are very engaged. And a lot of them realize that it's just more than standing here doing hair or painting fingernails. There is a lot of science to hair. So, and that, you know, sometimes can be a little overwhelming, but we get through that because there's ways we can do that. And but right now I have 11 students.
Mm-hmm. Well, all female?
I do have all female this year. Yes.
Okay. But you do have male occasionally.
I have had some non-traditional students, yes, and they've been very successful.
Very good. In your 15 years, you obviously have seen a lot of students come and go. What are some success stories with some past students that you know about?
I have several students here in Whitfield that are currently working in the industry.
What can you offer a student who comes to the cosmetology program?
Okay, we will, hopefully when they leave, they will have a Virginia cosmetology license.
Mm-hmm.
That will allow them to go out and work in a salon or in the industry in Virginia. Mm-hmm. My students are usually OSHA 10 certified when they leave the program. We do several certifications, such as a barbicide, and these are disinfecting certifications that teaches students how to clean and sanitize and bloodborne pathogen type.
Right.
We also do a knock tie certification.
So is there anything more important about the program that you want to say to either bring students in or encourage the public to help with this program, or what makes this program important?
Cosmetology, like all other career and trades, is very important. We need people working in the industry. I guess something passionate for me is I have students who use cosmetology as a way to maybe a fallback plan. Maybe they want to go to college to do dental hygiene. Mm-hmm. They can use their cosmetology license to work and put themselves through college. But then they have a license that they've worked hard for, and they can use, forever, as long as they renew their license and keep that up. I encourage the community to come in and let students work on them. Like I said, we charge minimal fees. We make appointments. They can call directly into the school. We run it just like a salon. They can make an appointment. And students can, they can get their hair done and students can work, and it's the best of both worlds because students learn and they can get their hair done without, costing too much money.
What is the minimal fee?
We have different fees, Zach, for
different things.
For different things. So if you're just getting a shampoo, cut, and style, it starts at one price. If you're getting a perm or you're getting a color service, they start at another price depending on the hair length. And,
sure.
And depending on, most of the time, services start at 12:15 when the students arrive, and they're usually finished, depending on what service it is. Some will take an hour, some could take 2.
Now, some
can take a little longer.
Okay. Now, is there a certain amount of book learning that comes with the cosmetology as well?
Yes, there is. We have a theory portion and a practical portion. And the theory portion is the book work. And students we have class lectures and we learn and they have tests, and then they come in the lab and they actually perform the tasks in the lab. Students like the lab part, the practical portion, a lot better than they do the theory portion. But to take your license, when you go to sit for your state board exam, you have a theory part, which consists of a series of about 100 to 125 questions. And then the practical portion, they have time tasks that they have to perform. So they have to do a haircut in 35 minutes, and they have to do a perm. They have to do a thermal curl. They have to do eyebrow waxing. They have certain tasks that they have to do, and they're timed. And that part of the test usually takes about 3.5 hours.
Okay.
And they have to pass both in order to get a license in the state of Virginia.
All right. Go ahead.
Students take that their senior year. Students take that the end of their senior year.
Can I have your email address?
All right. It's Danielle.Skeens at wythek12.org.
All right.
And if anybody wants to inquire about making appointments, they can either email me at that or they can call this number. I'm going to give you a number, and it rings right in. It's 276 228 2691.
2691. Okay.
And that'll call right into a different line where the students answer and they make appointments. So
great.
We'd be glad to set them up and talk to them about prices and services and all that. Anybody that wants to come get their hair done, we do some nail services. We do some waxing services, color, perms, cuts. And
anybody that wants to donate to the program can make a check out to the Technology Center and the Cosmetology Department.
That's right.
But
if people don't know where to call, they don't know to call here.
Right.
And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of people that know that we are open to the public.
Right.
We don't take walk-ins. You got to have an appointment, but we do take appointments.
And that's on Tuesday, you said?
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Tuesdays and Thursdays from what time?
Starting at 12:15.
All right. Tuesdays and Thursdays.
That's subject to change because my juniors are really good. So starting here in the next month or so, we may start taking clients Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8:30.
Okay.
So it depends on skills, and if their skills are at the level they need to be to perform on people.
Well, good luck with that. And
yes.
Again, thank you very much for talking with me.
Okay. I appreciate it, Zach.
Okay.
You take care.
Thank you, and it was good talking to you, and give my best to Ricky and your family.
I will. You do the same, okay?
All right. Take care.
All right. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.